Yeah, you could.
I can see that. And then I don't have to stand right.
Yep, I'm in true stand. We'll see. Good evening, everyone. I am just excited to see our Fairport family come here together to celebrate and recognize special and important people. Before we get really into this, how many people here have been a part of the Alumni Wall of Fame or the Education Wall of Distinction or even the Student Hall of Fame? Can you please stand up? If you're a past winner who's been recognized in the past, please stand up. Let's give these people a round of applause. I'm always impressed how people come back, and I know that there were some people who were saying, I ain't standing up, so I don't care what he says. So I know there's more people out there celebrating, and they come back, and that's why we come together as a family. I'd like to welcome you all here to the celebration of our Fairport family here at Fairport High School. This is a great facility, isn't it? It's very comfortable, great lighting, air conditioned. It's just a wonderful example of some of the great things we're doing here with our facilities to celebrate more than just eating food. For some of this evening's honorees, this may be the first time you've been back since you graduated, whether it was 40 years ago or whether it was just last June for some of our most recent graduates. I'm thrilled and honored to have you here and to be hosting this remarkable event in this wonderful space to celebrate our Fairport family. Before we begin, some thank yous are certainly in order, and I think it's important that we do recognize and thank those who make this possible, and it starts with our Board of Education. You'll be hearing from Board President Erica Bellis-Pacer in a little bit, but please let's give our Board of Education a big round of applause. If they do not support events, if they don't prioritize celebrating people and us dedicating resources and time to come together and honor the rich traditions of excellence that we have here, it does not happen. So we're grateful for their service. I would also like to extend my thanks to the students participating in this event, whether it was our musicians. Let's give our musicians a big... or our presenters. Let's give our presenters. They are going to tell amazing stories in ways that we could never do. You are going to be in awe because they just met these individuals and they do a wonderful job sharing the stories of all our inductees tonight. The committees behind the Student Hall of Fame, the Alumni Wall of Fame, and the Educational Wall of Distinction put tremendous effort in developing this program that reflects the spirit of all these awards. For those committee members, please stand up if you are a part of this, because it takes a lot of work to organize this. Our committee members, please stand up. There's more of you out there. You'll be meeting them personally in a little bit. And of course, thank you to our facilities, food services, and clerical staff for their help in organizing this event. Big round of applause for them. Lindsay Reddig is running around here somewhere taking pictures and making sure that I don't mess and keep things online. Let's give Lindsay a big round of applause. Literally working on this probably in the spring, and I'm like, it's going to happen in the fall. And she goes, but we got to start planning now. And sure enough, it's here. Lindsay, we are grateful for you. You can't say it enough. Thank you. At the beginning of the school year, I spoke to all of our Fairport staff, and I asked them to consider the difference between being successful and being effective, and what the difference means to them and their legacy as educators. As I look over the list of folks being honored here tonight, I see people who can say that they have achieved both short-term success and the powerful goal of long-term effectiveness. They are educators who touched thousands of lives, or they are lifetime members of the armed forces who have trained countless service members, or they have made careers out of mentorship or volunteerism or storytelling or scholarship. These are highly effective leaders, founders, and entrepreneurs who have built careers out of skills and relationships forged right here in our Fairport schools, have gone on to do amazing things. You are part of the Fairport story. We are grateful that you are here tonight, in person or in spirit, to share in the celebration of your achievements. I would like to extend a special mention to 4 inductees in particular who maybe haven't had the opportunity to climb to such extraordinary heights yet, because they are halfway through their first semester as graduates of Fairport High School. These inductees left an indelible mark on the district as students, and their journey has just barely begun. They are the future of the Fairport story, and I'm sure they'll be coming back here to be celebrated even more so in the future. Now, to continue on with this, I would like to invite Fairport Board of Education President Erica Bellis-Pacer to the podium to share her words of welcome.
Not as tall as Brett, so I won't be as long, don't worry, because it's not about me tonight, it's about everybody here. So good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Fairport Central School District Board of Education, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to this year's celebration. Tonight's ceremony brings 3 groups, students, staff, and alumni, who each represent the very best of what it means to be part of the Fairport family. I'm excited because we're doing this kind of to kick off our homecoming adventure tomorrow. I know it's been a week-long celebration in the schools as well, but I love that we're able to have folks come back either just that have left or have been gone maybe longer. So thank you for being here. This is more than an awards event. It's a celebration of excellence, service, compassion, and community. As both the president of the School Board of Education and a parent of 2 Fairport graduates and 1 current student, the spirit of this community continually inspires me. The individuals you recognize tonight remind us of what happens here in our classrooms, on our fields, and in our neighborhoods, and how it has a lasting impact far beyond the school walls. To our inductees, thank you for embodying Fairport values and for reminding us of what is possible when we lead with purpose and our hearts. Congratulations to each of you, and thank you to everyone who helped make this celebration a success.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bob Clark, and I'm the very proud principal here at Fairport High School. And I want to welcome you all here to our cafeteria. I'm so delighted to have you in this space. This has been a long time coming. You're seeing the fruits of a lot of planning and effort. And I think when we thought about what this space could be used for, I'm just so grateful to have everyone here and to see what our kids get to enjoy on a regular basis. It's really, truly something to be proud of. I also wanted to just echo Brett's comments in thanking especially Lindsay and Lauren for all of their efforts to reboot these celebrations. You know, as one of the stewards of just one part of the celebration of Fairport family, we just went through a period where we didn't see the turnout, and for our students, honestly, it was probably the hardest part to acknowledge, because our students take off for school at varying times in the summer, and it was so hard to schedule an event that we can bring them back for. We're still struggling with that piece, but with the use of technology, have figured out a way to incorporate families and students and really hear about the people that make this happen, and that is the kids. And I wanted to take the opportunity to thank Dave, Mr. Paddock, who's here in the back, and I know that he wouldn't want the focus to be on him, but because he listened to students over 25 years ago, we were just talking about this, to create the Student Hall of Fame and acknowledge the very best of the best that have come through Fairport High School on the heels of their graduation. I've been, again, extremely grateful to be the steward for that for the last 12 years, and thank you for Mr. Paddock and your leadership for creating this institution. So thank you so much. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of background on what the Student Hall of Fame is founded on. It's not just the kids that do the best academically. It's a pretty comprehensive thing. We are charged with taking a look at the entire class and only recommending 1% each year. And so based on our population, that's 4 to 5 students each year. And this award exists annually to recognize outstanding Fairport High School students who have achieved distinction in their careers at FHS based on academics, and having an average of 90 or better for the first 7 semesters of high school. That includes grades 9 through 12. Their extracurricular activities and the pieces that they're involved in have to be involved in a minimum of 8 different things during their high school career. So that's a lot of time. It's a consuming part of what they do. They have to be good citizens. They have to represent the character and the values that we espouse as a district. They have to dedicate themselves to service. And again, this comes naturally, I think, with the caliber of students that are recommended for this acknowledgement. They also have to demonstrate leadership while they're here. And that can come in many different forms, depending on, within their community, within the school grounds, within some of our organizations. And then they also have to demonstrate spirit. And I guess I would say that is sort of like the piece that takes them over the top. They truly believe in the concept of a Fairport family, and they've exuded all of that. So this year, I am beyond honored to, again, acknowledge the 4 students that I shared at graduation. We share this news each year at our graduation rehearsal. And we're going to do them a little bit out of order, not alphabetically, just to acknowledge the people that were able to make it back. We're going to start with Megan Arcerio. If I could have Megan come down. Megan? So grateful Megan was able to join us today from the University of South Carolina. So it wasn't a short trip. Megan, while in high school, I'm just going to give you just some highlights. All of the students have brag sheets when they get prepared to apply to college. If I were to read those, we'd probably be here for about an hour and a half, and we need to get to the rest of the ceremony. Just a few highlights from her senior year. Graduated with a 94.78 average, was a member of NHS, Spanish National Honor Society, co-president of the class of 2025. She was a student ambassador and a multi-sport athlete playing basketball and lacrosse. Megan Arcerio, again, I'd give her 30 seconds because that's what the students that aren't here are going to have. Megan, just congratulations on your inductee into the Student Hall of Fame for 2025.
Thank you so much, Mr. Clark. And thank you to everyone who made this day possible. This really means so much to me. And I would say this experience of me returning home to Fairport for the first time kind of brings back the saying, you don't really know what you have until it's gone. Because I just flew in from South Carolina last night, and I've never been happier to return to such a place filled with like the most amazing culture ever. I love Fairport, and I'm so proud to be inducted into the Student Hall of Fame here. So thank you to everyone who made this possible.
Next up, we have Jana Obaji. Jana, give you a minute to come on down. Again, not a quick trip. Jenna's in from the University of Pittsburgh. Let's give her a minute to get up here and get settled. No, you're good. So again, very brief highlights, very long resume. Graduated with an average of 96.98. Member of National Honor Society, Model United Nations Public Relations Representative, the French National Honor Society President, the MSA President, as well as a peer tutor. So congratulations, Jenna. If you want to take a few minutes to acknowledge your work.
Thank you so much for everybody who's involved in, the planning committee for this event, and as well for choosing me for this. This is a really amazing honor, and I really appreciate it. I drove in from Pittsburgh last night with a friend, and again, to be here is really, really surreal. See so many smiling faces of people whom I love so much and value so much. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you so, so much.
So next up, I have the pleasure of introducing Caitlin Duffy's family. Is Caitlin Duffy's family here? come on down. Caitlin reached out from Dickinson College to express how much she had hoped to be here. Unfortunately, her break didn't line up, and the transportation piece of things is always challenging. We do have some words from her that we're going to shift to in just a second, but some brief highlights. Aside from the fact that Caitlin interviewed me multiple times while she was working on the school newspaper, had a 97.31 average, section leader of our percussion section of the concert band, again, managing editor and president of the Lampion, president of the Spanish National Honor Society, and captain of the JV softball team. So we're going to cue up the video, and you can hear directly from Caitlin, who's at, again, Dickinson College.
Hey Fairport, it's Caitlin Duffy. I'm here at Dickinson College, and I'm loving it. I wanted to take a moment and apologize for not being able to attend the ceremony tonight, but also to reach out and express my immense gratitude for being inducted into the Student Hall of Fame. Although I'm really learning to love Carlisle, Pennsylvania, it is not half as amazing as Fairport University. I feel so incredibly lucky to have grown up in Fairport, and so now to be inducted into the Hall of Fame is truly the greatest honor of my life. Thank you.
And next up, if I can invite Michael Panera's family down. Again, a couple of highlights from Michael, who is going to be joining us in just a second from Harvard. 98.85 average. National Honor Society, again, co-president of the class of 2025, French National Honor Society, and also a peer tutor. I just want to say again, congratulations to Michael, and we're going to hear a few words from him and then present that award.
Hello everyone. I'm very sorry that I cannot be in attendance with you tonight, but I hope that this short video can convey my gratitude and appreciation for the high honor with which I have been bestowed. From the relationships that I've built with my teachers and mentors, the memories I made during building its history of me, the Fairport community has greatly furthered my personal growth in the last 18 years. Being chosen for the Fairport Student Hall of Fame is so important to me because it forever connects me to the place that I love so much and that will always be my home. Thank you all for this incredible honor. Once a Raider, always a Raider. Good night.
Again, some year we're going to be able to figure that out, that they all have their breaks at the same time. I couldn't even do that in my own family. One daughter home last week, another daughter home this week. It's kind of a difficult thing for us to schedule, but so grateful for the families to be here to celebrate. Tremendous honor for all of our kids. Usually in my graduation speech, I talk about kids these days. And it's a refrain that I share because often when I cross paths with people and they ask what I do, and I say I'm a high school principal, they're like, oh, kids these days, you know? And I have to, kind of fight that connotation or that, that perception that they have. I think kids these days are absolutely remarkable. And you just saw that in 30-second vignettes, right? They do amazing things while they're here, and then they go make us proud everywhere else we go. So I'm hopeful to cross paths with Michael in Harvard when we attend the senior trip in a few weeks, and Jake Dixon, because he'll be there as well. And it always gives me such great pride to cross paths with them and to hear them talk about the experiences that they had at Fairport High School. So tremendous thank you to everyone that participated in that, and congratulations to those students. It's now my great pleasure to introduce you to some more students under the direction of Ms. Elena Rick and our exceptional musicians who have a performance to honor our students. Again, that's what this is really all about. One of the things that I've always cherished about these ceremonies is the opportunity for our current students to shine. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn things over to Coach Mike May, and he's going to take the next leg of this in our Alumni Wall of Fame. Coach?
Hey folks, great to see everybody. I'm Mike DeMay. I'm actually a 1992 Fairport grad. Been teaching phys ed and health here for 29 years. Love this community. Been here for a long, long time. It's cool to see coworkers and former principals and former students. It's good, great stuff. So I'm not going to go through something individually for each kid that's up here. It's about the recipients, but I do want to say it would not surprise me to see some of these students that are presenting to you in a minute sitting in the seats of receiving these awards later down the road. So I won't waste time here. Our first nominee is Scott Miller, and this will be presented by Renee Osberg.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Renee Osberg, and I have been given the pleasure of introducing our first nominee. Relationships are gold, and they become more gold as decades proceed. Spoken by Scott Miller, graduating class of 1975, these words are a reflection of the community fostered during Scott's time at Fairport High School. His high school career was filled with a variety of activities across numerous fields. He was involved in sports, playing in the Little League, swimming, golfing, and playing soccer. He volunteered through Boy Scouts, eventually becoming an Eagle Scout. Besides all these involvements, however, what stood out to me the most was the extensive involvement he had in music. Scott participated in jazz band, concert band, and played a wide variety of instruments. From percussion to piano, he truly did it all. It comes to no surprise, then, that his role model was Monroe Sherrill, the band director at the time. He inspired excellence, showcased true love for what he did, and embodied music as a person. It is clear that Scott internalized these qualities to become the person he is today. For all the activities he participated in during high school, however, he still had no clue what he wished to be when leaving. Eventually, he settled on architecture, going on to graduate with a business degree. During his time at college, he connected with a homeless shelter through a local pastor and would spend his free time volunteering. Through this experience, he was connected to the nonprofit world and soon after made enormous impacts. Finding the right resources and people that would listen, he was able to sell his ideas around the world. Throughout his career, he has raised hundreds of millions of dollars for charitable organizations, earning a name in the nonprofit world as a true philanthropist. Through his upbringing at Fairport, knocking door to door, selling oranges or cards or lemonade, Scott learned values that stuck with him throughout his career. He remarked that at 17, he likely wouldn't be listening to advice given him by someone like him, but wishes someone would have told him more, and henceforth gives students 5 pieces of advice. 1, learn. Learn about money, about entrepreneurship, about the world. 2, find your home. Find where you thrive and put your roots down. 3, investigate and experiment. Find out what you love in life and follow your passions. 4, choose your people wisely. Find those who will give you long-term friendships and be by your side through the hard times and the good. And finally, 5, take your time. Discover what you're good at and what you struggle with. Don't try to rush something and go against the grain of who you are. Embrace the adventure and find an area where you can flourish. Discover yourself. From his time at Fairport, Scott has gained lifelong friendships. He encourages students to build those powerful relationships that can withstand time. And finally, know that your whole life is ahead of you and that you can find success in any corner of the world. It has been my pleasure to be given the opportunity to meet with Scott, and so it is my honor to introduce to you the newest member of the Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame, Scott Miller, accepting on his behalf his nephew, Sean.
Kids do such a great job with this. It's awesome. Next will be our only junior that's presenting. Colin Cluse will be presenting for Rick Beto.
Hello, my name is Colin Cluse, and I'll be presenting Rick Beato. Rick Beato expressed that Fairport is the best place anyone could grow up in. The way of life we have here in Fairport, according to Rick, gave him the ability to pursue his love for music. He attributes this to the amount of opportunities there are for students in Fairport schools. He additionally believes the people of Fairport are the most plain-spoken, down-to-earth, and kind people he's encountered. And he's always felt this since his childhood here. Rick began his music career playing the cello in the orchestra and later transitioned into the bass, which he also played in concert band. One of the most impactful figures to him as a student was Ken Brown, the Fairport Orchestra director. Brown was a major reason why Rick continued pursuing his playing as a young musician. Rick stated that the Fairport music program is unlike any other schools he's ever seen, and this helped fuel his lifelong passion for playing. After graduating in the class of 1980, he attended Ithaca, where he majored in music education and kept studying the bass. Following this, he gained a jazz guitar performance degree at the New England Conservatory of Music. After college, Rick worked as an educator and later a songwriter, spending time in Ithaca, Philadelphia, and New York City. Rick ended up moving to Atlanta in 1994, where he now lives. In 1999, his band put out a record. His own studio, Black Dog Sound Studios, is located in Atlanta, which is where he worked as a music producer from 1999 to 2016. 2016 was the year in which he began his YouTube channel, which was instantly a massive success. His first video that went viral on Facebook was of Rick and his son Dylan, who has perfect pitch, the ability to identify chords and tones from hearing only. Rick received thousands of emails from viewers who wished to learn from Rick how to get such musical skills. In June of 2016, Rick started officially making videos on YouTube, where he now has over 5 million subscribers, including me. On his channel, he analyzes music and has interviewed countless performers, including Sting, David Gilmour of Pink Floyd, and John Fogerty. When asked what advice he has for the current generation of FHS students, he encouraged us to learn as much as we can. Rick has been curious throughout his life, and his favorite moments are playing guitar, which he does every day. He stated his background in the classical, rock, and jazz genres, which began here in Fairport, has allowed him to explore a variety of music, and he always pushes himself to listen to something new. He would like to thank his dear friend Bill Tiberio, first orchestra teacher Ken Brown, and his very supportive family. And so, it is my honor to introduce to you the newest member of the Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame, Rick Beato.
Congratulations, folks. All right, next, we have Lindsay Ledgy, who is going to be announcing Michael Blakeman.
Good evening. My name is Lindsay Ledgy, and I am proud to be introducing our second honoree of the night. As a member of the Fairport graduating class of 2005, Michael Blakeman still holds his days at Fairport High School close to his heart. In his days at Fairport, he was heavily involved in all aspects of the community. An avid participant in the band and choir, a star of the theater department with his leading role of Mercutio in Fairport's rendition of Romeo and Juliet, to even serving as treasurer in his student government. Michael Blakeman is grateful today that he is able to experience all facets of Fairport through being such an involved student. These early successes laid the foundation for tremendous career accomplishments later on in his life. Today, Michael Blakeman is a successful and well-known author on the subject of the American Revolution and a renowned professor at Princeton University. When reflecting on his time spent at Fairport, he described to me how amazed he is today at how his friendships that began at Fairport have persisted. He described the nature of Fairport's lasting connections by saying, "Fairport is a place people love to stay in." When compared to other communities where people were constantly coming and going, Michael stated that Fairport remained a reliable home. Growing up, Michael kept two role models in mind, the first being his opa, or his grandfather. He had inspired Michael to cherish the natural world throughout his life. The second role model Michael shared with me was his theater and English teacher, Mrs. Midge Marshall. The thing he loved about her was how her goal was always to transform her students' way of thinking. He said, quote, "She took no prisoners. She was a legend." While walking down memory lane of his days at Fairport, Michael can recount the budding romance between Mr. and Mrs. Gillette and the conversations across the school that it sparked in his time at FHS. I feel a great sense of pride in the fact that I unlocked Michael's memory of the AP Humanities Museum Corner project and the leadership trip. After the fact, Michael went digging through his computer folders to find old files from these days. In reflection of his days at Fairport, Michael recounted how he had always loved American history. Back then, he thought that maybe he would study history and ultimately work in the government. By the end of his college experience, he found that his favorite classes were the ones in which he was most involved in helping his professors. Now, as an accomplished author and Princeton professor, Michael says that he is living out his dream job. When asked about his most proud accomplishments, without hesitation, Michael said his daughter. For his most proud career accomplishments, he beamed as he detailed the story of his 10-year-long dissertation turned published book and the hard work and dedication that went into that project being out in the world today. He rejoiced in the fact that he kept going during that 10-year-long process through perseverance and sticking to his goals, and the fact that now his book is shared and discussed across universities and museums all around. When discussing what life is like as a current Fairport student, Michael gave some advice to those leaving Fairport. He said to stay invested in your high school friendships after you leave Fairport. He described how friendships after high school aren't always as tightly bound, and he emphasized holding on to FHS friendships even though it might take some hard work. On a more school-based sphere, Michael says that in order to get ready to succeed, you need to read and ask questions. Be the student who chases down professors. Go to office hours. Those are my favorite kinds of students to teach, he says. He also wishes that younger individuals would know that they should have a little more faith in their power of interest and in themselves when concerned about job preparedness. Michael encourages students and history lovers alike to learn so much and to study what they love. Along the way, you learn and get skills that no one can take away from you. Michael says to remember to have courage and to trust that somehow learning will prepare you for your career, your life as a citizen, and your life as a neighbor. Michael Blakeman has and continues to leave a lasting impact in and beyond our FHS community. I feel very thankful that I got to be a part of this special moment tonight, and with that, it is my honor to introduce to you the newest member of the Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame, Michael Blakeman.
Great job. Next, we have Cynthia Stevens-Graubert, who will be announced by Nathan Wicks.
Good evening. My name is Nathan Wicks, and it is my pleasure to introduce to you Cynthia Stevens-Graubart, who unfortunately is not able to attend tonight. Nevertheless, she still deserves an introduction. After meeting with Cynthia on a Friday afternoon in September, the word reinvention has taken on a new meaning for me. Reinvention of self is not something that happens. It's something that you do, something that you will do constantly. Cynthia was born in Jacksonville, Florida, and transferred schools often. There was no sense of permanence in my life, she said to me. Her role models at this time included her mother and, at large, the women's movement. It had a profound influence, and doors that were closed for generations were then opening up. She felt that she could pursue and be anything. When she finally came to FHS for her junior year, she felt welcomed and supported by the Fairport family, namely the legendary Coach Santini and her English teacher, Mrs. Kearney, who she described as so complimentary, boosting her confidence as a writer even before she knew that was the path for her. In terms of extracurriculars, the yearbook club was where Cynthia found community. After making a playful quip about how she was not an editor, yet did the work of one, she recalled how the experience was informative and illuminating on how a book comes together. Information that she would carry into her adult career as an author, editor, and speaker, among others. After graduating, Cynthia enrolled in the University of Georgia to become a pharmacist. Realizing that was not her true calling, she switched majors, then colleges, before interning back in Atlanta and starting her career as a self-employed entrepreneur. Food writing is where Cynthia has been working for many years, and you may even know her cookbooks, like Mastering the Art of Southern Cooking or Chicken, a Savor of the South cookbook. For her writing, she has won the prestigious James Beard Award and the MFK Fisher Award. Apart from her incredible career, Cynthia has raised 2 kids who are grown now and who she still enjoys spending time with. Towards the end of the interview, I asked if she had any advice for Fairport students today. A moment later, she said that you will be more than just one thing in your life. New people, places, jobs, paths, dreams, etc. will find a place in your life, and while it can feel overwhelming, the course of a lifetime is reinvention. Reinvention that Cynthia experienced time and time again before, during, and after her time at Fairport High School. And so it is my honor to introduce to you the newest member of the Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame, Cynthia Stevens Grabart.
Kids are doing awesome. Next, we have David Rierson, who will be announced by Ari Toner.
Good evening. My name is Ari Toner, and it is my pleasure to introduce David Rierson. Mr. David Rierson has excelled in a variety of experiences since his time here at Fairport High School when he graduated in 1960. Starting off in his freshman year, he played fullback on the very first Fairport soccer team. There, he met George Amiot, his soccer and business coach, who offered him practical advice, such as investing in quality. David evidently appreciated it. Throughout his proud 59 years at the Egypt Fire Department, he has gone through just about all the positions, including chief, president, vice president, and being elected to the Board of Trustees. To this day, he answers calls, though he focuses more now on driving the fire trucks. He not only has knowledge in saving lives in fires, but in snow too. He has been a part of the Bristol Ski Patrol for 25 years, over which he has earned awards from the National Ski Patrol for life-saving acts. In addition to this, he is an Air Force veteran, serving from June 1961 through December 1964. He went to basic training at Lackland Base in Texas and technical training in Missouri, where he was stationed at Phoenix. All of this, of course, is in addition to his 33-year-long career for the Monroe Water Authority at the water treatment plant in Lake Ontario. During his time there, he worked from a skilled laborer all the way up to the plant superintendent. The amount of practical training he received equates to at least a bachelor's degree in engineering. With this involvement, his advice is to be aware that engineering is always evolving. This requires studying and reading every day, while always being open to learning on the job. The people that teach the most, he said, are of personal experience instead of writers in a book. And if you are there for your community, they will also be there for you. Such words hold even more weight when learning that David currently lives in the house he grew up in, right around the corner from Fairport High School, and is one of 5 generations that have attended. He has seen Fairport change the most, from a rural area to easily 3 times the population. Through this change, Mr. Rierson shared a constant. He met a girl in high school that he thought might be the one, and has now been married to her for 61 years. He is evidence of his own advice. Work hard for what you want your future to be, and maybe you will discover you were where you were meant to be all along. And so it is my honor to introduce to you the newest member of the Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame, David Rierson.
We're going to continue with the theme of Davids. Next, we have David Yaman, announced by Mary DeMott.
Good evening, everyone. Today I have the honor of speaking about a remarkable Fairport graduate, Mr. Dave Yaman, class of 1986, a man whose life has taken him from the halls of Fairport High School to the global stage and back to the values that started it all: community, leadership, and family. Mr. Yaman remembers Fairport as a place filled with good peers, a place that has challenged and shaped him academically, socially, and athletically. Whether it was in the classroom, on the court, or in the dugout, he was constantly encouraged to push himself to be better. Teachers and coaches like Coach Jeff Fitch, who he fondly remembers as a genuine role model, and Mrs. Pelcher, his math teacher, who had a unique way of connecting with students and making complex subjects relatable and understandable, were examples of those who pushed him to be the best of his abilities. Throughout high school, Mr. Yaman was a student athlete through and through, whether it was baseball, basketball, or being a proud member of the National Honor Society. But his favorite memories aren't just about the big moments. He fondly remembers the locker room brotherhood, goofing off in the cafeteria with friends, and the unique spirit and pride that has always been at the heart of Fairport. It should also be mentioned that Mr. Yaman married his high school sweetheart, a Fairport cheerleader, and together they've survived 32 years of marriage, 4 children, and 25 years living in Sleepy Hollow, New York. He often says that among his greatest accomplishments are his wife and kids, And yes, he did remind us, don't forget the wife. After high school, Dave attended Notre Dame, where he not only played baseball, but also began coaching, a natural continuation of his leadership on and off the field. He earned a degree in American Studies, went on to law school, and eventually found himself at PepsiCo, where he worked for 23 years, ultimately serving as general counsel and advising the company on legal matters across the globe. His career took him to fascinating places, Moscow being the most interesting, but Thailand ultimately stealing the title of favorite. Today, Dave works as a leadership consultant, helping others become stronger, more intentional leaders. His advice? Get to know who you are, and let that guide your career choices. Use your strengths, and more importantly, be fully present wherever you are. Whether you're sitting in class, having lunch with a friend, or pursuing your dreams, be there, truly there. Mr. Yeoman shares that growing up in the village of Fairport was truly something special. He loved being part of such a close-knit community full of opportunities to get involved. His favorite place in the village is TK's, where he still enjoys dropping in for a slice. Mr. Yeoman is proof that being a Raider doesn't have to end when you graduate. As he proudly says, once a Raider, always a Raider. And so it is my honor to introduce to you the newest member of our Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame, Mr. Dave Yeoman.
Last but not least, we have Mr. David Yonkers, who will be announced by Marley Priest.
Good evening. My name is Marley Priest, and I have the pleasure to introduce you to Mr. David Yonkers. Graduating with the class of 1956 as senior class president, track athlete, trumpet player in the high school band, and manager of the school yearbook, David Yonkers was a high achiever then and continued that into his life. This is why we are so proud to welcome him into the Alumni Wall of Fame. It's a privilege to share to you Mr. Yonkers' life story. Fairport was always a positive place for Mr. Yonkers to grow up in. He had an ideal experience surrounded by his friends and family. Reflecting back on his high school days, he expresses his love for the community he grew up in and shared he couldn't have picked a better place than Fairport. He appreciated the support of key Fairport community members, including his father, his doctor, and coach. His father was a teacher at Fairport High School, and Mr. Yonkers expressed his pride in who his father was as a person. Beloved by the community and his family, his father was a true source of guidance during his childhood. Mr. Yonkers worked a few jobs for his doctor, Mr. Cry, and saw him as a man with a good heart who embodied the lifestyle of helping people. And Coach Joe Cummings is a well-known man in the Fairport community still today and demonstrated kindness while instilling perseverance and good work ethic into athletes such as Mr. Yonkers. After his high school career ended, Mr. Yonkers attended the University of Michigan and received a degree in education. He also attended the NROTC of Michigan and soon after was commissioned as an ensign in the Navy. During his time in the Navy, he achieved numerous things. He was a convoy commodore, and he was aboard the first ship during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Though in his time in the Navy he had many accomplishments, he is most proud of his 2 commands. Mr. Yonkers commanded 2 destroyers at the end of his career and was given the title of Quadrant Commander. In his time serving, he always seemed to be where the action was. After service, he got his master's degree in management at the Naval Post Undergraduate School and worked at the Naval Academy as company officer for 2 years until he moved on to West Point. After 27 years in service for the Navy and working at the Naval Academy and at West Point, Mr. Yonkers retired and now lives in Pennsylvania. A piece of advice to Fairport students from Mr. Yonkers is, don't get distracted. Be a good student, and it will give you opportunities that will mold you and give you characteristics that are unique to you. Put the effort in and become great. It is my honor to introduce to you the newest member of the Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame, Mr. David Yonkers.
So again, it's my great pleasure to introduce another musical piece for us to honor our Alumni Wall of Fame under the direction of our national treasure, Bill Tiberio.
Thank you to our musicians and to Mr. Tiberio. Definitely a tough act to follow, but we're going to try to do it with our Education Wall of Distinction, our committee members, Lauren Romanola, Tracy Tingu, Marissa Mangini, and Erica Santora. Please come up, and they'll be doing the Education Wall of Distinction induction.
Good evening, everyone. We want to thank you for attending this evening's ceremony. For this portion of the program, we continue to honor special individuals, specifically those who have made a difference in Fairport schools.
The idea for the Wall of Distinction ceremony was first proposed by Matt DeRizio in 2004. For those of you who knew him, you know he felt strongly about the values of the district's mission statement and honoring those who educated each child, every child, and the whole child in their everyday work. Here we are, 21 years later, honoring individuals that that have served the Fairport Central School District, past or present.
Tonight you will hear from some amazing students who will share the accomplishments of our 4 Wall of Distinction inductees. We are so grateful to have such outstanding young people who value community and connection. Thank you to our student speakers. They are here helping us honor those who have left their mark on students and our schools.
These 4 inductees were nominated by their peers and selected by the Wall of Distinction Committee. Trudy, Mike, Maura, and Mike, thank you for all you have done to support teaching, learning, and the Fairport Central School District's mission and core beliefs. Tonight, we celebrate you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Luke Schulte, and I'll be presenting on behalf of Mr. Michael Kramarzik, who is unfortunately unable to attend tonight's ceremony. Mr. K retired in the spring of 2025 after a 25-year career in the music department in Fairport schools. At Fairport, Mr. K was a unique specialist on trombone and percussion instruments. He taught lessons to virtually every student in the program from grades 5 through 12. In addition, he conducted the Fairport High School Symphonic Band for his entire career in Fairport, and almost all of those years he directed the 5th and 6th grade bands at Jefferson Avenue and Brooks Hill. Under his direction, the high school symphonic band maintained a standard of performance excellence that earned him a respect and admiration from everyone in the Rochester area. And his elementary school band sounded like middle school groups every year. Mr. K influenced the music education of all students all over Monroe County. Hailing from Rochester, he was a member of the Rochester Philharmonic Orchestra as a high school student and stayed active as a trombonist throughout his time in Fairport. Mr. K's exceptional teaching has led many of his graduates to consider him one of their favorite teachers. His colleagues have been tasked with covering the many responsibilities that Mr. K taught and led in Fairport. His presence and excellence are so greatly missed. It is my honor to welcome the newest member of Fairport Educator Wall of Distinction, Mr. Michael Kramarzik. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. Our next student presenter is Ava Bernhardt, who is going to welcome Trudy Bantle to the Alumni Wall of Distinction. Educator Wall of Distinction.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me, and my name is Ava Bernhardt. I recently had the honor of interviewing Trudy Bantle. After our conversation, I knew what my teacher, Mrs. Hagedorn, meant when she shared that Mrs. Bantle always left little nuggets of wisdom for those around her. I, too, walked away with these gifts of insight that are a part of the many ways Trudy Bantle left her mark on Fairport High School. Mrs. Bantle was a social studies teacher at Fairport High School for over 40 years, always meeting students where they were and helping them truly learn. She was inspired to teach by her earth science teacher, who didn't teach her very much. She took this experience and decided to teach students in a way that actually allowed them to learn. Mrs. Bantle is a lifelong learner. She is proud of earning the National Board Certification, which recognizes teachers for their outstanding accomplishments by assessing their skills and knowledge. Mrs. Bantle went through the rigorous process to become nationally board certified, and she has helped many teachers earn the certification as well. On top of all of her accomplishments, Mrs. Bantle has left an impact of kindness on everyone in the Fairport district. When teachers overheard me talking about how I got the honor to interview Mrs. Bantle, they would tell me how loving and kind she is. Everyone from the math teachers to the art department would praise all that she has done. After she retired in 2016, she came back to tutor students and volunteer her time. Mrs. Bantle's advice for everyone is to just keep learning. No matter what it is, she advises teachers to learn new methods of teaching and to be curious about your craft. Ask yourself questions. She recommends students to never put themselves down because they're not doing well in one class. Just keep going. Learn about your strengths and your weaknesses. Learn how you learn. Trudy Banto loved every minute of working with students, even when the job got tough. She didn't just toss kids aside when they were struggling. She would sit down with them and try to understand why they were struggling, and then help them get back up on their feet. She made a huge impact not only here at FHS, but across the whole district. The Fairport community would not be the same if she didn't dedicate her time, spread her wisdom, and shared her kindness with all of us. It is my honor to introduce to you the newest member of the Fairport Educator Wall of Distinction, Trudy Bantle.
I'd like to welcome Noah Moretter to come up next to introduce Mr. Mike Barker.
Good evening. My name is Noah Moretter, a junior at FHS, and it is my honor tonight to recognize Mr. Mike Barker, an inspirational man who has dedicated his life to serving students in his beloved Fairport community. Like many Fairport teachers, Mike was raised in Fairport along his two brothers and his sister. After attending St. John of Rochester through 10th grade, he graduated from Bishop Kearney in 1981. He attended St. John Fisher, where he studied and received his bachelor's degree in political science and history. This is just the beginning of the lasting legacy of Mike Barker. After leaving what he described as his paper-pushing job, Mike pursued teaching, which he fell in love with. Along the way, he was inspired by wonderful educators. Two of them stand out among the rest, and those two are Pete Logan and Sonja Coughlin. They helped shape him into the educator he is today and mean very much to him. As Mike shared, to think that I'm being inducted alongside them, that means more than anything to me. Mike spent over 27 years teaching at Joanna Parent and became the department head of social studies. While teaching, he also dedicated time to coaching wrestling. Mike also taught at Fairport High School, where he taught my dad 10th grade global history. My dad shared, Mike not only taught me global history, but inspired me to teach it to others and follow in his footsteps. He has an unwavering desire to help others and led with integrity and steady leadership. Mike shared he had never had a bad day at Fairport and never saw teaching as work. In 1981, Mike chose to run for village trustee, and upon winning, he became the youngest elected official in the state. In addition to his trustee position, Mike also served as a Monroe County legislator, and he was also elected as the vice president of the legislature in 2010. However, when Jim Smith retired as town supervisor, the executive experience he had always wanted became a reality. He spent 3 terms as town supervisor and touched the lives of many, including my Grammy, Diane Riesenberger, who was the town's recreation director at that time. She shared, the relationship between the town and the schools was the closest it had ever been. Mike truly cared about the youth of the community. After his 3 terms, Mike realized in 2015 that teaching was his true calling in life and returned to the classroom at his alma mater, Bishop Kearney. Teaching none other than social studies, he continues to coach wrestling alongside Mr. Cole at Joanna Parent. As Mike shared, what makes Fairport so special is that when someone asks where you're from, the typical response from someone in the county is Rochester, but not Fairport kids. Fairport kids say Fairport and are truly proud of it. Mike Barker embodies what Fairport is all about. Congratulations on your well-deserved induction into the Fairport Educator Wall of Fame.
I'd like to welcome up Helena Dixon, who's going to introduce Maura Kirkezes.
I first met Mrs. Corkezes in 8th grade during 9th period health class. What I remember most was that she truly embodied her own advice. She knew each of our names and understood our individual strengths and weaknesses. Most importantly, she cultivated a safe environment where we could share our opinions and respect those of our classmates, something that is challenging in middle school. I remember the engaging stories she shared, drawn from her own life and the experiences of former students. Despite a large class filled with diverse personalities, she always found a way to keep us learning and involved. Mrs. Corkezes' involvement in middle school included varsity sports and yearbook club, passions she continued at Martha Brown as a modified and JV soccer coach and yearbook club advisor. She also served as the district's CPR lead instructor, ensuring both students and teachers were trained in CPR. Additionally, she advised an adventure club and reel club, which was originally created for the LGBTQIA+ community. Her connections with students through sports, sports, extracurriculars, and everyday interactions have not only shaped her career, but also influenced who we have become as students. Middle school can be a challenging time, but Martha Brown was an amazing place to be because of staff like Mrs. Corkezes. Mrs. Corkezes' perspective on her career is truly inspiring. When asked for advice to those entering education, she emphasizes enjoying the small moments and remembering that the students are what matter most. The most significant takeaway from our conversation was her genuine humility. She views this award not only as a recognition of her career, but as a tribute to all the teachers and staff at Martha Brown and Fairport Central School District who have supported her, including icons like Mr. Dunn, known for his kindness and problem-solving abilities, and all of the students she's encountered. Her ability to connect with students on their level while maintaining her role as an adult is a skill she has perfected. Furthermore, her work with Kid to Kid has raised over $300,000 for children at Golisano Children's Hospital. She is, without a doubt, an amazing person, and it is my honor to introduce her to introduce the newest member of the Faculty Wall of Distinction, Mrs. Corkezes.
Came from Washington, D.C. with a bunch of 8th graders. Let's give Maura another round of applause. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Supervisor Hanna's here, Mayor DeMoritz is here, Legislator Baines is here. It's such an important part of our community that people come to support our Fairport family. I also have to say, you know, when you're giving the wrap-up, people are texting you all sorts of things. You got to get this in, you got to get that in. So it's a big weekend in Fairport. It is homecoming weekend, like Erica Pacer said, our board president. There's lots of homecoming activities starting at 5 tomorrow evening. There'll be food trucks. There'll be field hockey at 5:30, and then the boys' soccer plays. And then Saturday, we start at 3 o'clock for the football game. We welcome you there. We're a community. We come out for each other. I have to say, some things really come to mind as I close here. Families, friends, and colleagues, this is your award too. And the people that receive these awards, from our students and to our adult recipients, they would say, you made a difference. You helped them get to where they need to be. So let's give you all a big round of applause. Our students are incredible. What they did was, whether they were performing tonight in the ensembles or sharing the stories of our inductees, again, capturing it in ways that no one could do. These were not like lifelong relationships, but you wouldn't know that by the depth of the stories. They met with all the recipients and listened intently and passionately shared their thoughts and perspectives of our wonderful inductees. Congratulations to our students, performers, and speakers. You know, Megan's words said it in the beginning. Megan, if you're still here, I have to say you said it, man, and it gives me goosebumps and culture, right? We have an amazing culture that our kids rally around, that our students rally around, that our families rally around. Tomorrow night, there will not be a more relevant and compelling community than what goes on here at the pep rally. And it's just such a privilege to be a part of it. But you're all part of it, and that's why you show up. Finally, the role of educators. The role of educators. You planted seeds. You are a part of these inductees' experiences. You impact eternity in ways that we never know, and sometimes you don't think it's ever going to come to fruition. But you see it being played out in so many ways, like our inductees expressed tonight. Thank you to our amazing educators. And you're an educator if you work and you impact children. Let's give our educators a big round of applause. There's plenty of food left. The screens that we usually share the inductees on, they're not ready at this point in time. I was told because of construction. I'm not making that leap. You know, I couldn't sell that. But tell them because of construction. But honestly, we'll get those up really soon. Technological difficulties as you would have it. But take pictures, eat food, enjoy each other. But please be safe and come back home, homecoming weekend. Have a great night. Thank you for being a part of it.